Well, I think a mistake that probably has been made is to understand like where and what is the value of the technology that you are building. For example, the models are where there's the most value because that's by definition where you're concentrating all your R&D. I mean, when I say that, I mean you're concentrating the technology at the model space, and so most applications do not have the model and the application. They're calling the models through API calls, for example, and they're not possessing like that actual technology, but just the application itself. And so what is interesting to understand is to be very clear on what do you have within the tech stack and what do you not have, first point. And I think on that point, it's really a question about not just open or closed source, but I would more say the size of the model. Do you really need a large language model, or are you better off with a smaller language model like the ones that Mistral are developing, which are very efficient? And why do I think that is more the key debate than open versus closed for an application? Because it's completely changing the game in terms of inference costs, which are the biggest costs in terms of gross margin impact. And if you make the wrong choice from a model perspective and you have a large language model versus a small one that could have done the job in a better and less, in a better way from a cost perspective and more efficient from a technical perspective, you need to make that choice. And this is where we're seeing a lot of questions that are having both CEOs and private equity investors, and this is the question that is still being sorted to date.
Yeah.
And I would also add, if I may, that within this, the separation that could have seemed obvious between closed and open, you're seeing that a lot of the open model companies are developing closed source models that they are selling versus the ones that are being provided through open source. And you're seeing the price of ChatGPT that is going drastically down, and many are thinking that there's going to be commoditization around this. So I think this is a debate that is still completely open, and that the frontier is not black and white, and it's at best gray.